Anyway, get the I want the introduction, and I want page 1. I want the last paragraph. It's actually, I wanted page 2, but I got to pick it up at page 1, the last paragraph. And let everyone know what you're reading. Like I said, this is a school, it's not a church. And schools have textbooks, they have syllabus, they have an objective. And our objective is to show you, which is our first aim, to help you find and know Yahweh, our Elohim, as he really is and actually exists. Well, how can we do it? Because he has shown himself to us, so now we give it to you. Freely it was given to us, so freely we give it to you. So pick that up for me, please.
This is in volume 1,
yes.
The school textbook, Elohim, the archetype, original pattern of the universe, under introduction, 3rd paragraph, page 1.
It's the last paragraph, right?
Yes.
Okay.
This great and powerfully psychological experience revealed Yahweh Elohim to me for the first time in my life.
This is Dr. Kelly, the founder, talking. Go ahead.
Revealed him as he really exists, as the one and only universal spirit and archetypal pattern of the universe.
Because there's only one, it's not a trinity. Go ahead.
In presenting and explaining this stupendous vision and revelation to you, the reader, I presume that you are honest, sincere, and earnest in your extensive and intensified search for the true Elohim of the universe.
Now that's his assumption if you're reading this, but do you know that you have, if you don't think you have a sincere heart, you can ask Yahweh for that? I remember a lecture a long time ago, someone on the floor saying that said, you have to ask Yahweh things with sincerity and truth. And then someone said, well, how do you know you're sincere? They still ask Yahweh for a sincere heart. I'm like, well, you can ask him for that too? Then you can't come up with that yourself. No, you have to ask him for everything. So go ahead, keep reading.
I further assume that you, like millions of other human beings throughout the world, truly want to know Yahweh as he really is.
Now you have to be true. I think we were talking about this yesterday when I came in. The truth is the truth, whether you accept it or not.
That's right.
So, and the truth hurts. It really does. When somebody brings the truth to you after you've believed something else for so long, it's not a good feeling. It actually hurts.
Yeah.
But he's saying he wants you to, he assumes you're going to accept the truth, putting your views and opinions aside. Go ahead.
As he really is, or as he actually exists.
Right.
My only purpose in writing this book is to try to help you find and know Yahweh for your own personal satisfaction and consolation. That's it.
Keep going.
Okay.
Keep reading.
Although my purpose, as expressed above, is to help every person who reads this book to learn of the truth and find and know Elohim, I cannot definitely guarantee that in every case I will succeed in my effort.
Even though that's his purpose, that's his sincere prayer, was that everyone that reads that finds and know Yahweh as he really is and actually says. Keep reading.
The only possibility of this becoming a truly accomplished realization in your life as it is in mine, and comparatively few others, lies solely within your own ability and power to accept attested truth and scientifically proven facts. I shall present pure, unadulterated truth and facts to you as they really are for your careful investigation and consideration.
So he didn't say, I'm going to say something to you and you just believe me. He said, I'm going to present it to you. You go out and you investigate it. You find out if I'm right. If it's right, believe it. I love that. No one in here is telling us to believe anything they say. I don't care how good of a speaker they are. You investigate what they're saying. I don't care how long they've been in class. I don't care their title. Sorry, John. You know, you don't believe anybody.
That's right.
You know why? Because this is your soul we're talking about. And I'm telling you, I'm at the point now, I am so glad I have twin girls. I have 3 girls, actually. My oldest, and I have twins. One twin graduated from college in December. The other one's graduating in April. I'm so glad I'm done. And what I tell them now is when I get up in the morning to go to class, I don't wake anybody up. You know what today was when you went to bed yesterday. You want to come to class with me, you get your butt up. Because my daughter, one time I came back, she said, you didn't wake me up. I said, I'm not going to. You are 21 years old. You know what I do every Sunday, every Tuesday, and every Thursday.
Right.
You want to go with me, you get your butt up and you go. See, you're accountable for yourself now. I'm worried about my soul. Because I know I still have thoughts that Yahweh can send me straight to the lake for. So I'm like, Yahweh, please set me straight. So you have to want to know this for yourself. Keep going. Keep going, Dr. Cole.
Okay. It is quite apparent that you probably will note many statements herein which you shall feel are entirely out of harmony with the general theological conceptions displaying the semblance of cold-blooded or sacrilegious attitudes.
So some of the stuff he says, some people, it's just gonna be like, what are you? I've never heard that before. That's true. That's what the truth is. It's something you've never heard before. Keep going.
This is not true. Did it ever occur to you that people remain ignorant of attested truth and scientifically proven facts, most particularly because people fail to make a personal, detailed investigation of important matters?
Now that right there, when you are in a conversation with someone, and I have to deal with this all the time, and me and Kenyatta talk about this all the time, which is why we just click, because the stuff we have to deal with, and I'm pretty sure we all do. But when you're talking to someone that is so inundated in this world, and what this world is about, and they listen to all this political rigmarole, they don't want to accept the fact that Yahweh is still in control of everything.
Right.
It's always the people need to. We need to rise up. We need to do this. We need to do that. And if we just do this, and if we just did that, and that man wouldn't be in office, blah, 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 blah. And I'm guilty. I can get caught up sometimes too. But I always ask Yahweh, make me bring it back to knowing that you're in control.
Right.
But when you're talking, they don't want to hear that. Because they still want to believe that there's something they can do. There's something I can do. And we're all, I'm going to put it on myself because I don't talk about nobody else. I still have some bits in my life where I'm thinking I can control it. And I'm asking Yahweh, please let me see that there's nothing that I'm doing. That you're in control of everything. But it's hard when you're talking to people. They really don't want to believe that. But that's what the world tells them. How an example of that, go do some Hail Marys and you'll be forgiven of your sins. Oh, so that means I can do something to have my sins forgiven. No, it isn't. Yahshua is the only one that can do that. And he did do it. But do you believe that or not? Keep reading, Dr. Cohen. There's something I want to get to.
This failure to investigate positively retards the progress of understanding and knowledge in every vocation and phase of life, both spiritually and physical. Spiritually and physically,
you're going to be retarded if you don't do a detailed investigation of everything. That blew my mind when I read it. I'm like, what? So I will go out, if I want a new car, I go investigate. Okay, I love cars, so I'm going to the auto show this month. Okay, I'll look at the price, look at the mileage, look at the true maintenance value, how much it's going to actually cost me to maintain it. I do an investigation on that, but when it comes to my soul, I'm good. I don't have to do anything. And I'm not talking about people out in the world. I'm still talking about people in class that do that. I know Yahweh, I'm good. No. Do you really know him? Do you really? Because that's what Dr. Kendall is saying here. Keep going.
Sometimes stopping and thinking for a moment.
Just stop. Pause. That's what the kids say now. Just pause. Go ahead.
Stopping and thinking for a moment over the essential things of life eliminates many regretted years of poverty, sickness, humiliation, embarrassment, and sometimes death and destruction.
I wish but Yahweh does everything in his time. But when I think back in the years of my youth, listening to that, had I done that, just stop and think instead of just reacting, being reactive instead of proactive, would have solved a lot of problems. Go ahead.
Therefore, people should learn to pause and try to think intelligently before people finally conclude affirmatively or negatively. People should do this before an ultimatum or final decision is rendered on any secular topic. The populace of people is, to some extent, guilty of this negligence.
I was talking to someone before I drove here Saturday, and we got not a spat, but just a disagreement, and they said to me, well, I don't care what nobody say. Nobody changing my mind. I did one of these. I was like, ooh. Okay. You know, you don't say that.
Right.
You know, you are so strong and so just held in that opinion.
Right.
You don't care that you could be wrong. You gonna stand in that wrongness. Okay. Be that way. I cut the conversation off. I said, I'm done. Go ahead, keep reading.
In the foregoing paragraphs, it was not my intention to impart the idea that I, in my human intelligence, have become infinite in wisdom.
See, he took himself out of the way. Go ahead.
And infallible, or that I have already attained that state of absolute perfection.
And then there's something, he took himself out of the way, but now we got people wanting to put him up there.
That's right.
You know, and he said, no, it's not me. Go ahead.
In every technical detail. However, I am only trying to attract your attention and elevate your consciousness so that I can impart to you the true understanding of the vision which I received by divine revelation.
Right.
In view of this, the pictorial illustrations and explanations of the vision herein set forth are not to be regarded as that of my own concept or speculation.
Right. Go ahead.
I firmly know that the Almighty Elohim given spiritual knowledge and understanding of this great panoramic vision and panoramic revelation was originally intended for you as much as it was for me.
That's right. Go ahead. And that's what, and going back to Dr. Kinley said, when after he received the vision, Yahweh asked him, what you going to do with it? You know, eventually Dr. Kinley said, teach your people, because it wasn't just meant for Dr. Kinley. It was meant for us. Go ahead.
Therefore, to the very best of my ability, I am attempting to pass it on to you exactly as I received it.
Once again, you know, he gave it to us exactly how he got it. Who are we to change it? I didn't have a panoramic vision. Yahweh is giving it to me in bits and pieces. So I can't go up here and say, well, that's wrong. I didn't have that. But it amazes me a creature is going to tell a creator that he was wrong, or call a creator a liar, which is really what's going on. Well, I think it was actually said he lied to us when he was first given. I said, woo, you talking about some, this in chains. They are bound in chains. Right there, just Yahweh just got them wrapped up. And see what it is, what Yahweh's doing, he's separating the wheat from the tares. We were brought up together, and that's okay. You bring them right on up together, because you don't want to rip out the tares, because you'll rip the wheat out too. So you let them come on up together, and then when it's in fruition, then you can tell. You know, because that wheat will bow to the Messiah. The tares will not bow. So keep going, May, read.
You should be cautioned that I refuse to make diplomatic apologies.
And I'll get that word for me, because I had to look. And what I love about this school is that it teaches you how to read all over again. So get that word diplomatic for it. Diplomacy for me. Because I had to look it up, because my concept of it, my daughter, the one that just graduated, her degree is in international relations. So she loves to be able to be, you know, diplomatic and try and get people, you know, to come together. So I had to look that word up, because I knew my understanding of it was not what he was saying. So if you have that word, please. Diplomacy. And what Dr. Kinley is trying to get us to understand is that everything that we have been taught in the world was wrong. And that's hard to accept. And I know, like I said, sometimes there are still things that Yahweh showed me. I'm like, really? I was wrong all that time about that? Yahweh goes, yes, you were. And sometimes that's hard. That's really hard. But I'm like, Yahweh, don't let it be so hard that I don't accept it. It's going to hurt, yes, but then let me assimilate it, and if it's true, let me accept it. Someone has that word?
Yes, I have that. Diplomacy from the Merriam online dictionary. The work of maintaining good relations between the governments of different countries. Skill in dealing with others without causing bad feelings.
That's it. That's what I wanted. So when Dr. Kinley said he's not trying to be diplomatic, so what he's saying is he don't care about your feelings. He's going to give this to you how it was given to him. Your feelings are secondary. You're going to feel how you're going to feel, but later on you'll be okay. And that's what I wanted. Thank you. Keep reading, man.
Okay. You should be cautioned that I refuse to make diplomatic apologies for stating the truth and facts as Elohim has revealed them to me.
Right.
As I honestly know that they will permanently remain.
Right.
Neither do I practice using diplomacy in presenting truth and facts as they were revealed to me.
So he's not sugarcoating it, in other words. Go ahead.
And as I understand them to be. My method is to you to the line.
Right.
And let the chips fall where they may.
It's going to be where it's going to be. Go ahead.
In other words, it is my task and duty to carefully place the truth and facts squarely before the reader. And it is up to you to make the final decision.
That's right.
The reader is to also bear it in memory that this book is difficult to elucidate.
To understand. Go ahead.
Which therefore requires that every instruction be closely regarded in every detail. Keep going.
Yes, please.
The revelation of the archetypal pattern of the universe embraces the existence of Yahweh, His universal spirit law.
He's talking about this pattern that was revealed to Moses on that Mount Sinai. Now he's going to tell you about this pattern and what it does. Go ahead.
An eternal purpose.
Start that over for me.
Okay. The revelation of the archetypal pattern of the universe.
This tabernacle pattern. Go ahead.
Embraces the existence of Yahweh. His universal spirit law and eternal purpose through the dispensations and ages.
It embraces all those things. Go ahead.
Comparatively speaking, this is a new divine, philosophical, psychological, scientific, spiritual, scriptural, and revolutionary interpretation.
I think that just covered it all.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Of the inspired scriptures.
So he's talking about that Bible. What he's telling you is that this universal tabernacle archetype pattern, which is Yahweh Elohim, embraces all those things, and it gives you a better understanding of that Bible. Go ahead.
It is supported by a definite divine pattern of
and
things.
it has support. Go ahead.
Descriptively stipulated in the true writings of the Bible.
Right.
Itself, which reads as follows.
Yes.
And look, that thou make them after their pattern,
right,
which was showed thee in the mount.
Moses, look that you make this pattern after what you saw in the mount. Don't you err within it. But do you know in there, and I don't know where the scripture is, and I won't have you get it, but Yahweh said he put his spirit in those that had to construct this tabernacle. Why? Because he knew they were human and they would err. But when the spirit of Yahweh is in them, they're not going to make any errors. Because why? It's the pattern of heavenly things. It's going to dictate and tell you how the universe was made. I love that series I was watching on the news, How the Universe Was Made. I love that because they think they're being scientific when all they're doing is proving Yahweh. Go ahead, keep reading.
Exodus 25 and 40. This interpretation is discreetly confirmed in every detailed manner by the universal creation of Yahweh Elohim.
Right.
Both invisible and visible.
So no matter what you can see or can't see, it is dictated and goes according to that pattern. Go ahead.
Which reads as follows. Because that which may be known of Yahweh is manifested in them.
And I love that because. You don't start a sentence with because. Because that means there's something before it. And so what Paul was saying, or Saul was saying before that, he's saying, now see, you're not going to have an excuse. Why? Because Yahweh has given you the things that are made to show you the things that are not made. And when I was talking to someone, it's always, and I always get this rebuttal, you know, well, how do you know? How do you know there's life after death? I said, well, I know the metamorphosis of a butterfly. So I know there's life after death. I know that whatever I ate died and is resurrected in me. I know there's life after death. Now just because you don't believe it, you won't come to class and understand it, don't mean it's not true. But I absolutely believe there's life after death. This is not my final destination. I'm looking forward to that final destination, which is that having that immortal, glorified body, that body that I have an immortal spiritual body in me now, but I'm looking forward to the universal revelation of Yahshua the Messiah to put on that immortal spiritual body. I always mix that up, but you guys know what I mean. But I am looking forward to that, and yes, there is something after this, and it's hard for me to believe that people don't think there's something after this, but, you know, unless Yahweh reveals it to them, you know, you're not going to see it, and that's what I'm grateful that he's revealing it to me, so keep reading that.
Okay. For Yahweh has showed it unto them. For the invisible things of him from
them is everybody. Go ahead.
From the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made.
Right. So everyone in the world, because you always get that, what about the people here? What about the people there? Everyone sees the sun. Everyone sees the stars. Everyone sees the moon. And guess what? Everyone has a physical body. So those are the things that are made to prove to you that there's a creator. So you're without excuse. Go ahead.
Even his eternal power and supernal nature, so that they are without excuse.
Right.
Romans 1:19 and 20. Moreover, I firmly know that this vision of Revelation is to be regarded as one of the greatest and most astounding of panoramic visions and panoramic revelations ever given to mankind since the creation of the material or stellar counterparts of the universe.
So what he's saying is that every time I read that, it blows my mind. Since the creation of the world, this is the greatest thing since the creation of the world. And we got that textbook, and I remember one of our brethren saying he got it in the trunk of his car, and it's just, you know, sliding back and forth his car, and, you know, you going off. Don't give it a second thought. But the secrets of the world in the Bible are in that textbook, and we won't even read it. And Dr. Kinley said, I wrote a book, you won't even read it. Go ahead.
To the very best of the artistic ability of those that were willing to assist me, heretofore mentioned, I had them to draw pictorial illustrative charts of the great panoramic vision, showing the divine pattern and spirit law embodied therein, and tried hard to explain its true meaning to philosophers, scientists, and religious teachers. No man, regardless of their religious affiliations, or teachers of philosophy and other scientific and cosmic phrases of nature, who have heard and understood the explanation of the pattern and the universal spirit law and its operation by illustrative charts, has ever been able to refute the accuracy and infallibility of its teaching.
That's a long sentence, but all he's saying is anybody that has sat in front of this vision and it has been explained to them in detail, and there is nothing they can do with what has been presented. And like we say, you may say, well, that's not, the heart is not really shaped like that, whatever, that's not the point. You may say that the sun is not really that round, that's not the point. See, but the principles that we present to you, you can't do anything with that. You can't do anything with the fact that Yahweh is pure spirit. He took on shape and form as Yahweh Elohim, only seen in the visions and revelations, and then he took on shape, he took on form into a physical body and walked the earth plane as Yahshua the Messiah. He then took that flesh off and he went right back into pure spirit, which we all have to go back to. You can't do anything with that when it's presented to you the way that it is today. Go ahead.
A profound knowledge of this divine panoramic vision operating through the dispensations and ages by the universal spirit law abolishes all superstition, ignorance, carnal ordinances, traditions, atheism, agnosticism, and skepticism.
It gets rid of all of it. And we all, like I said, I still have some. I was at work the other day, opened the umbrella inside. Like, what's the deal? You're supposed to open the umbrella indoors? What? Superstitions. You know, we still have that. Oh, don't split that pole. Why? You're not supposed to do that. Who said I'm not supposed to do that? You know, that's just as bad as don't wear white after Labor Day, and I do it on purpose. Just to tick people off. I walk in there with some white pants and a white shirt on right after Labor Day. What? You the fashion police? I mean, people hold on to stuff. It's just insignificant stuff that doesn't mean anything. And see, that's what Dr. Kinley's saying. This abolishes all of that. Go ahead.
And skepticism, and investigates the unexplained so-called law of nature.
But you know what? It can't get rid of that if you don't come and study. And that's what he just made me see just now, because I went back to my conversation with that person. Unless they come and sit down in these classes and hear this gospel, it's not going to get rid of any of that. Go ahead.
which is in reality universal spirit law. The power is latent in man, and it teaches man to have implicit faith in Elohim.
Implicit means unquestionable faith in Yahweh. But understanding, as it says in Hebrews, is not faith that is just, blind faith. It's faith with evidence. You have seen the sun come up every single day of your life. It may be a cloudy day, but you know that sun out there. So your faith in that sun coming up is unquestionable. And that's what he's saying. That's eventually what you have to be with Yahweh. No matter what happens in your life, no matter what's going on in this world politically, with these wars, with famines, with fires, mudslides, everything, your faith, you know that Yahweh has it under control and that it's operating the way he wants it to. Why? Because it's got to go out. Everything and everybody is going to be exposed for who they really are before he takes this thing out. So I'm sorry if you Chicagoans, if y'all love Obama, guess what? Yahweh's going to expose him too. See, ain't nobody supposed to be up here but Yahweh.
That's right.
And a lot of times we don't think we got people and concepts and whatever on our throne, but we do, because I know I do, because there's been some people I'm like, oh, I just love, and then they do something, I go, oh, really? That's Yahweh bringing them, not trying to say they're satanic, but Yahweh says, I want you to get them off that throne, because I'm the only one that's supposed to be up there. So that's what he's doing. So don't be scared of all this people being exposed, because you're like, oh my God, this person, yes, because only Yahweh is perfect. Go ahead, man, keep reading.
Implicit faith in Elohim and worship him in spirit and in truth, as Yahweh had originally intended.
That's right. Only him. Go ahead.
According to his eternal purpose, as stated in the following. Yahweh is spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth.
And now you got these new age, and I hate it when I hear people go, I'm just spiritual. What does that mean? What do you mean you're spiritual? I don't go to church. I don't do. Oprah does that. I'm saying, damn, another Chicagoan. What's with y'all? I just thought about that. Okay, but she does that. I'm spiritual. What does that mean? You know, I don't care what words you use and try and sound all profound. What does that mean? What do you mean you're spiritual? You know, and they can't really explain it. They use all these words and you're just supposed to go, okay, that's good. No, Dr. Kinley said you hold everybody's feet to the fire. Until you can prove to me that you really know what that means, I'm not buying that. Go ahead.
John 4:24. Having made known unto us the mystery of his will, according to his good pleasure, which he had purposed in himself, that in the dispensations of the fullness of times,
in his time, go ahead,
he might gather together in one all things in Elohim, both which are in heaven,
we're all going back, go ahead,
and which are on earth, even in him, in whom also we have obtained an inheritance, being predestinated, according to the purpose of him.
Now, you have an inheritance. I did my will maybe about a few months ago, and it's not because, you know, I got a lot of money or whatever, but there are things I want done. You know, my service, like my aunt had, I just want the gospel preached. The only people I want to say something is my husband, my kids. Other than that, I don't want no, you know, line up if you got something to say about Felicia. I don't want you to have nothing to say about Felicia. I want the gospel preached, and that's it. You know, and then, you know, a couple things I want my kids to have. But when you have an inheritance, when Yahweh has shown you, and he shows you in his time, what you have to come, what's in store for you, you do everything you can to make sure your name don't get written out of that will. I'm like, this is what I have, Yahweh, this is what's coming. Eternal glory, peace, joy, righteousness, and the Holy Spirit. Really? That's what I get? Okay, what I have to do? Come to class? Okay. That's what you do when you know what your inheritance is. And your inheritance is eternal life and immortal glorification, not in damnation. Because remember, everyone's going to live forever. You're either going to live forever here in a lake of fire, or you're going to live together here with Yahweh Elohim. Go ahead.
Being predestinated according to the purpose of him who worketh all things after the counsel of his own will. That we should be the praise of his glory, who first trusted in Elohim. Ephesians 1:9-12. It may seem to you that this is the long way around. But in reality, It is a short way.
And have you guys, you've experienced that when you're trying to explain this gospel to somebody, they'll ask you a question and you go all the way back to Moses. And you're like, wait, I asked you a question. Yeah, but I got to tell you this in order to get to the answer of this. But people don't want to hear that. Yeah. It's not the long way around. It's actually the short way. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
When you stop and consider that Yahweh Elohim in his new covenant has promised to put his law in our spirit and write it in our soul and cause us to know him and walk in his ways. That is, deliver us from the ignorance of sin and preserve us for immortal glorification as stated in the following.
He's delivering you from this delusion that you've been under, and it never occurred to me until Yahweh pulled me out of it, that when you're in a delusion, you don't know you're in a delusion. You really don't know. So that's why I don't get upset with people anymore when they're talking that crap, because they don't know. They really believe the things that they believe. And I love it. Dr. Carl Emberler Oceanside say, if you thought what you thought was wrong, you wouldn't keep thinking it. You think it because you think it's right. So until Yahweh pulls you out of that delusion, you're going to keep thinking you're right. Keep reading.
Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was a husband unto them, saith Yahweh.
Now I'm trying to get to the last paragraph on the second page. Are you there yet?
Let's see. Let's see.
Get the last paragraph. Says,
it is of the revelation that
a profound knowledge. It says it starts with a profound knowledge. I know when you're reading it electronically, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Read where she's at, Kenyatta. You pick it up.
This is the last paragraph of page 2.
Okay.
A profound knowledge and understanding of the divine panoramic vision, operating first in the realm of eternity, and therefore through the dispensation and ages, by the universal spirit law, absolutely abolish all practice, forms, and classifications of superstitions, willful ignorance, satanics, or false doctrines, or erroneous religion concepts.
So what they're saying is, once you understand the operation of this tabernacle pattern, it will abolish all the concepts, opinions, superstitions that you have been inundated with in this world. Go ahead.
Man-made tradition and custom.
All of that stuff. Christmas, Easter, Martin Luther King Day, all of it. It abolishes all of that. Go ahead.
So-called atheism, agnostic, skepticism, witchcraft, and idolatry, and all types of previous established, fulfilled, and abolished all cardinal ordinances.
It gets rid of all of it. And someone, she's going to keep reading, but look up occult for me. Go ahead.
Which were under the old covenant with Israel.
Yes. So he's talking about that old covenant with Israel. It abolishes all that, because a lot of people think that you still have to do this to obtain salvation. And what you're doing is you're saying that everything that he went through, which was horrific, was not good enough. And that blows my mind. I think someone was talking about how they're, in this month, a few people in church are doing a fast for this month to prove themselves to God. You ain't got to prove nothing. He already know you ain't no good. So, you know, if anything, you trying to prove something to somebody else. But see, they still think there's something they can do. And that's how we are. We are just vain like that, because we want to puff ourselves up and say, see what I did. But Yahshua said, no, I did this for you. Release yourself from that. I've done it. Now it's in you. There's nothing you need to do. And that's what he's saying there. Keep reading.
Furthermore, this teaching investigates the cosmographical structure of the universe and explain the so-called law of nature, which in reality is the universal spirit law.
Mother Nature. Mother Nature this, Mother Nature that. No, that's Yahweh doing that. Go ahead.
The power latent in man, and teaches mankind of his inseparable relationship with Yahweh.
And I love that. what Yahweh has to tell us, and there's a transcript that Dr. Kinley wrote. It's called The Power Within You. It's one of the shortest transcripts there are. It's so short you can fold it up and keep it in your wallet or your purse. And in it, Dr. Kinley talks about if you just realize and come to a ever-present conscientious ever of Yahshua's ever-presence within you, the power that is within you, it can lift you up out of any and every dire situation. Not being present, not being aware of that will take you down into the depths of hell. Yahweh has never been separate from us. We, in our mental illness is what it is, have been separated from him. But what he does with this gospel, by him giving us a spiritual circumcision, he clears away all that. Now you can see, oh my gosh, Yahweh, you were there the whole time. You were never separated from me. But see, we want to think that there's something we can do. There can't be something in the cosmos or up there that's doing it for me, which he never was up there. He's here. And that's what you have to understand. You're never alone. Yahweh is always with you. So no matter what situation you're in, I used to think that at work, because I work at a big company, I used to feel like, oh, I wish I had a brother in here and all that. Yahweh, like, I've been with you all the time. What's wrong with you? The whole time. When you walked in that door, I was there. When you walk out, I walk out with you. And once we understand that, it brings you so much peace and joy. Keep reading in the textbook.
And teaches mankind of this inseparable relationship with Yahweh Elohim. And to have implicit faith in Yahweh Elohim. And worship him in spirit and in truth. John 14:4-24. As Yahweh Elohim had originally intended according to his eternal purpose. Ephesians 1:19.
And that was his intent the whole time, was that we become conscious of his ever-presence, that we learn, know, and understand the operation of what Dr. Kelly was saying. We get a profound knowledge of this tabernacle pattern, because knowing this pattern will allow you to understand where you are in various states of your life. You know, and every day we all go through a death, burial, resurrection just from when we sleep. But there are times in our lives where we go through a depression or whatever. You know, whatever it is, you're in that death state. But when you understand that your life is going by this tabernacle, when you're in that death state, you're down, but you're not out. You're like, okay, I'm okay, Yahweh, I know this is where I'm supposed to be right now, but you always remember there's a resurrection. So when you have a profound knowledge of that tabernacle, you can be there, but you know, I'm not going to stay here. I know you're going to bring me out, Yahweh. I know it. Just give me the patience and the endurance to know that, okay, this is your will. You want me to see something in it. And that's why he puts us there. There's something he's trying to show and tell you. But a lot of times we just block that out. I know I do. Yahweh, you know, say go right. I'm like, I'm going to go left. And as soon as I go left, you know, whatever. See, Yahweh said, I told you to go right. You gonna go left, you gonna see what's gonna happen. I deal with that now. Like I said, you know, I talked to Kenyatta about this. When you got girls, I say the girls are Yahweh's punishment to me and payback to my mama. That's all it is. Because when you got teenage girls, if we can harness the power of them, we can have world peace. Because you know they know everything, right? They know all the trouble. They can figure it all out. There's nothing you can tell them. They know everything. So when I there are some times when I tell them just do it this way. Just do it this way. Fine, don't. But don't come to me when it don't work out. Because I told you, and I'm not telling you to be me. I'm your mother. And plus, I'm telling you from experience. I hit my head on that. I don't want you to hit your head. That's why I'm telling you, don't go that way. But okay. You know, eventually, that's why I said you're always their mother. But at some point, you got to stop being their mother. You know what? Fine. Go ahead and find out for yourself. And you know, see what our parents say, a hard head make us all bottom. Okay, keep on with it. But see, once you understand that Yahweh has a purpose for putting you through the things that he puts you through, and that's because he wants you to have that implicit faith in him. Okay, Yahweh, you had me here before. Then you had me here, and I can see into that most holy place. Okay, I'm back down here again. Okay, Yahweh, I know from last time when you had me here, I came up. I will sin in most holy place. Okay, I'm back down here. Okay, I know I'm coming back up. It's just a constant repetition, but that's okay because that's the way it's supposed to be. Because Yahweh is trying to get you to a point where you have implicit, unquestionable, unmovable faith in Him, knowing that all things are purpose and are for the good of them that love Yahweh. If Yahweh before you, who can be against you? I used to hear that all the time and didn't understand it, but now I get it. And it used to be really with me from my job. Now I'm like, wait a second, I got Yahweh on my side. Why am I worried about everybody got this person talking for them and that person talking for them and ain't nobody talking for me? Yahweh speaks for me. So I don't need that. And what Yahweh do, He'll have somebody that's over all of them say, well, I don't know, that ain't Felicia. That don't sound like, no, I don't believe that. I'm like, wow, Yahweh, you are awesome. But see, this is our Creator. When you have that implicit faith in Him and knowing that He is in control of everything, Yahweh just moves mountains right on out your way. And it literally will move a mountain for you if your faith in Him is as the grain of a mustard seed. That's all you need. That's not a lie. Yahweh don't ask nothing of us, and that's what gets me is that He doesn't ask us to do anything. All He says is just come to class. That's all you gotta do. Sometimes you ain't even gotta bring a Bible. Because what you do when you come to class, Yahweh starts to open things up to you. You may come in and you just, I'm not gonna listen to nothing they're saying. You keep coming, you go, oh, okay. Oh, okay. That's what He does.
Yes,
just come. That's all you got to do. But we put everything in front of Yahweh. Everything is more important. Oh, Yahweh know my heart exactly. That's why you got to come to class. Because it's full of crap. He needs to get that out of there. But when you disobedient, it's a place for someone that's disobedient. That He has a hold of you when everything is, ain't nobody going to tell me and I'm going to do. That who is that? Be mindful of who that is. He opposes everything Yahweh says. He says don't. Everything Yahweh says do, He says don't do. Everything Yahweh says do, He says you should do that. It's the exact opposite. And when you know that, then we're in the 4th volume in Southfield. When you know that, then you can detect that negative spirit. As our 7th angel said, you can discern and avoid being deceived by who? Lucifer, the serpent, the devil, the dragon, or who? Satan and his demons or his imps. You will be able to detect that. Okay, see, I know what that is. And it's not, you're not calling the person saying, you like, okay, you know what, I'm going to remove myself from this because I know that satanic spirit trying to get me riled up. Me and Kenyatta was talking, like, we'll be in a class, you know how you get out of a good class? You get out and you like up here, and as soon as you do, He come and snatch it right away with something stupid. It could be just something, somebody call you, as soon as you get out of class, you're like, wait a minute. So that euphoria is gone. I mean, real quick. It happens to me all the time. I'm like, doggone. But then Yahweh had me started to see. And now, can't talk to you right now. Gotta go. Listen to the Bible on the way home or class. I love this feeling of euphoria. I'm telling you. Somebody told me I should get a vice. I don't have a vice. This is my vice. When I get to listen to a good class, woo! That was so good. I'm just high as a kite. You talk about weed or whatever, which, I'm okay, whatever. You want to do it, fine. This will get you so high, it can't nobody bring you.
I'm telling you.
And it's nothing with, and the thing with material drugs are if you know how the brain works. Once you have something, and people who are addicted to heroin will tell you, that first high is what they always chase because there's nothing like it, but they can never get there. It's because those receptors in your brain, when it hits it that first time, then it takes more to get you back to that state. It's the same thing with marijuana. That's why it's so addictive, because people trying to get back to that first high. I had somebody tell me, they said, "Oh, I would love to have your lungs. You ain't never smoked. Woo, I could just have your lungs and just take a hit." I'm like, nah. And it made me realize, oh, you're trying to get back to that initial high you had when you first started doing it years ago. But see, I can get that initial hat every time I come to class.
That's right.
It's like, oh, and it's better than the last one. You can't get that with physical drugs. You just can't get it. You're chasing it, but you can't get it. I'm telling you, this thing is so pretty. Yahweh is awesome when you really start to understand it. And I never understood it when my mother would get so excited. She's like, girl, what's wrong with you? Don't you understand? It's just, you know, I'm a teenager. I'm like, okay, well, you know, whatever, Mom. I get it now, Mom. You know, she passed and gone, but I get it. It is beautiful because what it does, it allows you, and you know, that new person pamphlet, in there it has the tabernacle and it has all the ologies around it. There is nothing outside of Yahweh. So me, I love spreadsheets. I don't know why I think I'm addicted to them. And so I have a spreadsheet going on where I have all the ologies and how they go about a pattern. And I'm going to keep, you know, as Yahweh reveal it to me, I'm going to keep it up. But it's amazing to me. There's nothing. Now, I just finished, got my master's. There is nothing that, no matter how far I go in school, it can't touch what I know here. My girlfriend has a PhD in education. She still calls her creator the Lord. That's the name, Janine? It's the Lord. You have a PhD in education? You're an educator and you don't know that's not a name? Well, it's capitals. And you have a PhD in education? I keep telling, it takes her off, but I'm like, you got a PhD in education? And you don't know that's not a name? You don't put the in front of a proper name? Well, yeah. You got a PhD? I better stop. We ain't going to be friends for much longer. But I'm telling you, it amazes me because a child that knows this gospel can come in here and confound her. You know what I'm saying? So it has nothing to do with your worldly education. So don't ever feel down about not having one, or if you ain't got whatever. If you know this, you can stump all of them. And see, Yahweh has chosen you out of them. So don't let the carnal things of the world make you feel belittled or make you feel like you're nothing. That has nothing to do with it. The only reason I did that is to get more money at work. Trust me, it ain't nothing to do with Felicia. But what Yahweh is showing me is that you get those things. If he puts it on your heart to do that, you go ahead and do that. But you recognize that he is also in that. You ask him, okay, Yahweh, show me how you are in this IT degree. Show me how you are in this philosophy degree. Show me how you are in criminal law degree. Show me how you are in whatever it is you're going to study. See, Yahweh is in it all. So if he puts it on your heart, there's a purpose for that. Because eventually what's going to happen is he's going to have you use that to bring somebody to class.
That's right.
That's the whole point of us doing those things, those worldly things, getting those worldly degrees. It's so that you can preach the gospel of Yahweh and Yahshua the Messiah and say, see, I didn't do that on my own. It was Yahshua that did it. I'm nothing. Don't look at that. You look at Yahshua that's in me that did that. Now let me share with you what was given to me. That's the point of all of that. And I'm telling you, keep marching on. I know it was cold. And it's a Monday night. Y'all meet at 8. Oh my goodness gracious. Don't get out to 10. So I know y'all be tired and you downtrodden. But you have faith in Yahshua that it's a purpose for that. Yahweh is using you guys to preach this gospel to the world. And while he's doing that, he's elevating your souls and your minds. And he's changing your soul. So that when that universal revelation happens, you will get that glorified spiritual body and you will be one with Yahshua. And that's the whole goal of us coming down here. John, I know sometimes it's hard. When I think of Deans, I think of Moses. When he was in the wilderness with these people and they kept moaning and complaining. And then, well, Moses, why are you doing this? And you know, I know different classes, everybody deals with that. Well, why they don't call me on Sundays or Thursday? Why? Moses was like, oh my gosh, Yahweh, please. Moses just like tired of it. But see, Yahweh had a purpose for him. He was putting that role for a reason. And when you're putting that role to much is given, much is required. He's going to require a lot of you. But you be steadfast. You be immovable. You understand that there's a point to it. Yahweh's not doing that to you just to torture you and beat you. He's doing that to build you up, to make you strong, to make you a worthy opponent him in you, a worthy opponent to preach this gospel, to get it out there so that we can go home. Because I don't know about nobody else, but sometimes I get tired and I get weary. I'm like, Yahweh, how much longer is it going to be? Because this stuff is getting crazy. The stuff they're doing to kids and the stuff that's going on, the mental state of people is just absolutely corrupted. And guess what? It's not just people in the world. You can have even, and he said, a man's thoughts were evil continuously. And it's not just, don't think, oh, they're doing bad things. It's the thoughts and intents of man's mind is also evil continuously. Nobody can see in there, but Yahweh know what's going on up there. That's why I say, Yahweh, when I had those thoughts, you correct me, please, because I know every day he is worthy to send me to the lake. But it's his mercy and grace that says, you know what, Felicia, I got you. I'm not going to do that. Why? Because he promised. And when Yahweh makes a promise, he keeps his promises. He is the only one that I know that can do that. I got people promising me stuff all the time. I don't think about it. I'm like, okay, whatever. If you do it, I'm happy. If you don't, I'm not disappointed, because I know Yahweh is the only one that made a promise and he's going to keep it. And what is that? As long as you believe on me and my name, then I will give you eternal life. And that's what I want. I don't come down here. I love y'all. I do. Kenyatta, I love you. May, I love you. Jan, I love you. But I didn't come down here for y'all. I came for me because I want him to save me. Because I know I'm wretched. I know the person I could be or was before he changed me. The thoughts that I had towards even brethren were worthy for Yahweh to say, get out of my face. I'm sending you to the lake. But in his mercy and grace, he changed that. And he let me see my faults. He said, Felicia, you're wrong. You apologize. And that's what I try to do. If I wronged anybody, I am so sorry, whether it was directly or indirectly, because it's not what I meant. But I ask Yahweh, you make me be sorry. You make me be mindful of my actions, so that when it's time, when you take this flesh off, when my clock is up, that I'm with you and I'm not with this one, because I know where he's going. I don't want to go where he's going. I see the effects of him in this world today. These people today, when you look at them, you can tell they are in such bondage and such despair right now in this physical. So just imagine where they're going to be when they take this flesh off. I don't want to be there. So Yahweh, whatever you got to do, shake me, but don't let me go. Just let me know that you are still with me. And he does that every day when he makes me come to class. Because I know I don't do it on my own. I was telling them I drive an hour to class, but I'm like, Yahweh, please get me there. I don't care how cold it is, how rainy it is, how wet it is. Give me safe passage. Even coming here, give me safe passage. Let me get there. Let me know. Let me know that you are the reason that I'm going. And he does it. That's right. Because you ask Yahweh with sincerity and truth. You ask him with a sincere heart. And guess what? If you don't think you have a sincere heart, ask him for that. I didn't think I could. Until somebody said, so you don't think, ask Yahweh for a sincere heart? I can ask him. Dr. Dick Davis said in that transcript, he said, talk to Yahweh. Talk to him. He wants you to talk to him. It's not that he don't know what you're thinking, but he wants you to talk to him so you understand what's going on. It has nothing to do with him not knowing. He's an all-merciful, all-knowing Elohim. But you talk to Yahweh. You express to him the concerns that you have. It's okay to be fearful. It's okay to be doubtful. But if you're that way, then you let Yahweh know that's what it is. And then he will say, okay, let me ease your mind. Let me show you. And then what he'll do, you think it's something else, he'll go, blood, water, spirit. But Yahweh, I'm scared. Blood, water, spirit. But she did all this. Blood, water, spirit. Death, burial, resurrection. Eventually he'll go, oh, okay. It's a pattern. Yeah, fool, dummy, whatever. See, Yahweh is awesome, and it's his simplicity that this gospel confounds the world, because they think that it has to be some mystical, some algorithm that's uncalculable that one of them gonna think of. I was watching Interstellar the other day, and she came up with the the formula for gravity, and that's what allowed them to be able to travel and all this. I'm like, it ain't all about that. You know, it's Yahweh. This is the calculation you need to try and get. But I'm telling you, unless Yahweh pulls you out of this world, you're not going to know.
Yeah.
And that's where he is letting me see. I used to think, oh, I'm so unlucky. I am one of the luckiest people in the world. And I don't mean that's living now. I mean that ever lived, ever will live, and that are living now. I'm one of the luckiest ones. And it's not even luck. It's by divine grace and mercy that I was chosen to not only know this, understand it, but to maintain it.
Yeah.
Some people know it.
Yeah.
They kind of understand it, but they didn't maintain it.
Yeah.
So see, that's what you want. You ask Yahweh for all three. Because I can't remember one guy that visited our class once. He's gone out now. He came up with his own vision. Came up with charts and everything. And his was a circle. It was a circle, and it had all these pictures of the Bible and all that. I'm like, where'd you get that from? Once again, that vanity. Want to be lifted up, want to be something, want to be somebody. And then another person came and he started trying to sell his books from his church or something he came up with coming in our class. Don't come in here with that. We didn't come to be preached to. We came to preach and teach you. Now, if I go to your church, then you can do that. But don't come here. That's why I said to Jehovah's Witness, you came to my house, knocking on my door, you going to hear about Yahshua. Now, if I come to your house, knocking on your door, then you can tell me about Jehovah. It don't work that way. You ain't coming to my house telling me about nothing else but Yahshua and Yahweh. So just, like I said, just ask Yahweh to always keep you mindful that he is in control of everything that's going on, no matter what it is in your life, no matter what it is in the world. If you're fearful, it's okay. Ask Yahweh to take that fear away from you. He will. You're doubtful, it's okay. Ask Yahweh to take it away. Don't be scared of those feelings. Just ask Yahweh to remove them, and he will, because he's a merciful elder. You got to talk to him. You have to have that intimate relationship with Yahweh. You got to be on the same plane with Yahweh, a higher plane than you are with your spouse or anybody else. Yahweh has to be the one that knows all about you, everything about you. Yahweh, remember this? Yahweh go, yeah, I remember when you did that. Well, thank you for forgiving me. Thank you for getting me out of that. Because he's a merciful Elohim. And I'm telling you, I know within my life that he has mercy on me every day, and I am so grateful for that. And I am very happy that he allows me to come to these events, and I'm very happy that he has me a place in my life where I can travel to see the brethren, because I like hearing, my thing is, I like hearing how people came into class. I love that. I love hearing people's stories. How did Yahweh bring you in? Because it lets me know that Yahweh is not a respecter of persons. He's not in one place. He pulls people in from all over in all different ways and all different. I mean, sometimes some of the people, the way, asked one guy, how did you come in? He said, I was smoking weed with this guy in my car. And he said, you know Yahweh? I'm like, really? I said, I don't know if I wanted to hear that, but I did want to hear it. But see, that's Yahweh. Yeah. He said, yeah, that blew my mind. I don't know. He said, I thought he was just high until I came to class. I was like, wow, it was for real. I'm like, see, wow, Yahweh can reach you anywhere you are. So don't be afraid. Yahweh is a merciful Elohim. He's an awesome parent. He loves his children, and because he loves us, he will do for you. But you just got to be honest with yourself, honest with the brethren, honest with Yahweh, and he will show you and give you those things, because he's a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. With all that I say, give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahshua and Yahshua only. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Thank you, Dr. Hamilton.
Let's everybody get up and say how they came in class.
So we're going to open it up for testimonies.
And say how you came in class. And since you're not the only one in class, other people in class too, so give time to everybody. But please. Well, I mean, whoever, you know, you do have the mic and you are in class.
Oh, there you go.
Hi, I'm Kenyatta Jackson. And I do remember, I think I was telling Felicia a little bit about it, but how I came to class was through my older sister, Shaquita. She was in class, and but before that, I was always wondering, you know, like, are we gonna get to the year 2000? And I didn't think we were all up and down, and I never got all that. So, and I was thankful to Yahweh that I really wasn't in anything to be able to have to come out of something. So when I came to class, it was easy for me to just believe and know that it was the truth. And so that's how I kind of came to class. And I'm just thankful to Yahweh for that, for choosing me, like the previous vessel said. I really enjoyed the remarks of the previous vessel, but how you know, you do have to want to know him. And like she mentioned about that scripture, he's a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. And he has to put it on your heart and mind to seek him, and then, you know, make you diligent about it, and then he will reveal himself to you. And that's what I come to find out by coming to this class. And you know, I'm ever so grateful and thankful, like she was saying, and I was telling her about how the Chicago North Side, who was downtown, because we went to the South Side class, and I was like, oh, we used to be in the Fine Arts Building right there with, you know, with Lee Ward. And then, you know, I was telling her how he plucked us all out of the class before, so we wouldn't get in the doctrine that he was like going to the left on. And I thought it was amazing how Yahweh, you know, brought us all back together, the ones he plucked out, because he still has some following him. And I was like, that was nothing but love and mercy and grace, you know. And then how one vessel wasn't there, and I'm like, oh, I wonder what Matt is. Then he came through the door. So it was just really beautiful for me to see. And then how I was out of class for a while when he had plucked us all out. And then I went to a Vandy camp, and I was just changed after that. I'm like, okay, it's time for me to make Yahweh first. But I was telling Felicia also how I was so thankful and grateful that he didn't let me, once I was out in the world, get caught up into nothing else out there while I was out there. He kept me till class got brought back together. And now I'm here, and I'm thankful and grateful. And that's how I came into class. And praise be to Yahshua for that. Hallelujah.
Come on, y'all.
Come on. We got a visitor. Come on, she want to know.
She wants to know.
Come on, John. Black Hebrew Israelite.
Call me out. Oh, I'm John. I was a Black Hebrew.
We should say hello, John.
Right.
I've been, anyway. I'm very thankful they did call me out of that. And I thought it was right when I was in it. I really did. And I knew it was hard, and I've made this testimony before. I really thought that that I could please him because I knew him as the God of Israel. And that's what I called him, the God of Israel. Some knowledge of the name, but it didn't matter because I knew him as the God of Israel. And the one that I studied was the one that gave this law to the children of Israel. So I thought I was a black Hebrew Israelite. And I knew something about the law. I've always been fascinated about the law. But I also knew that it was one of the hardest things to, you know, to keep. And so I picked and chose. You know, I picked and chose the things that I thought were possible, even to the fact that, you know, and me and Maya have been married for 4 years, because I think we came to class in 1980, and we had been married, you know, for 4 years when we came to class. And what I did was I believed that, you know, looking at this law, some of the things about this law, like say pork, you know, I took that and believed that if I ate pork, it was a sin. So if I would go into, this is, you know, I would go into a restaurant, you use lard? And then we would say, okay, well, we can't eat here, you know, because it was lard and it was pork, you know, and, you know, I mean, it was a mess. You know, I look back at it, it's you know, the real serious darkness that was involved in that. But I really honestly believe that it was right, you know, and so just looking at the law, trying to do it, not realizing that, you know, about grace. I mean, I had some things that, you know, that before I came to this teaching that were shown to me, you know, but I never knew what they meant, you know, and I'm just going to share a couple, maybe one. One of them was that I had a dream that, you know, that I was faster than, you know, I was like a lion, like an eagle. And I thought, wow, so what that mean? I'm like a lion, I'm like an eagle? You know, I didn't know anything about the ensigns around the tabernacle. So I went to Lee, those, you know, Lee Warren, and, you know, and he said, nope, that don't mean anything about you. So I said, okay. That was Elohim introducing himself to you. So I said, wow, I never knew that, you know. So the things that happened, he you know, he showed me that he was with me before I came to this class. There's other things too, but I didn't understand those things until I came to this teaching. I'm so grateful, and I'm so thankful, because I was working at Sears, and I met this guy named Willie Williams, or as some people call him, Noonie. I was working at Sears, and I had this, I won't take too long, but I had this experience, I'll call it, where I was, I saw something where I saw these streets of gold, and it was a real experience. And I knew one thing, that this was before I came to this teaching, I believe. I thought that, man, whatever this is, this place, I want to get there. So what I did is I worked with Sears, so I'm showing my ignorance right now. Okay. I went in the garbage, and I got clothes, I got shoes, because I was able to get shoes from Sears. They test shoes. I had 100 pairs of shoes. I went to the Salvation Army. Here's 100 pairs of shoes. You know, they look at me, hey, yeah. You know, shoes, clothes, baby things, everything. You know, it was given to me, and because I knew that, man, that place I saw, I wanted to go there. You know, this big gold, and the feeling of being in a heavenly place, and then coming down from that place, which is something I never really, you know, shared. But coming down from that place was something that I thought, man, what have I done to come down? You know, I've been punished. You know, I didn't know. Is this my fate to fall into, you know, something? They're not realizing that that's a heavenly state, and I have to be on the earthly state, because this is where I'm at. You know, that's so. But I wanted to get back there, so I spent years before Willie walked up to me and told me that you don't have to do that, because I mean, I had, and you know, my wife put up with me. I had a garage full of clothes. I'll get them out the alley, go in the garbage cans, get them out the alley. They'll see me, and I go, I'm washing clothes, and because I'm getting to this place, I got to get to this heavenly state, you know. So I took these clothes and I washed them. They had bugs and everything. I mean, I'm in the garbage. You know, I'm a grown man walking in the alley, digging in people garbage to get clothes, to get this, you know, and you know, I guess I needed to say this just to realize how stupid I was, you know, how deceived I was, you know, and then it was told to me that, look, you don't have to, that law wasn't given to you. I said, okay. So
Hallelujah.
it didn't take that much for me to drop that.
Right.
You know,
Right.
because here's this guy, he constantly before I even got in the class, he's constantly, you know how you talk to people, he's constantly preaching and this and this and this and that. I'm like, yeah, whatever, this and that. But then it started to hit me, it started to, and then said, okay, I gotta go home. I gotta tell my wife that I've been married to for 4 years. I gotta go tell her. And she's looking at me like I'm just completely nuts. Because she was in the Black Hebrew Black too. And I met her when I was 18, so she was like, no, 17. So she was like, you're nuts. And she would not accept this for nothing. I'm an atheist. And I said, okay. I'm a Black Hebrew. I said, whatever. So he had to come there, and then when he came there and started talking, she still didn't want to believe it. But, eventually Yahweh made her see it and made me see it, and I've been in this teaching ever since. And I know that he hasn't, I'm thankful for this, and I'm saying this, I've not been out of class to the point where, a year or whatever, maybe a day or two or a week or whatever, but no. He showed me something and scared the crap out of me. And I know that I haven't done anything to deserve where I'm at. And it's by grace. And that's why, I'm so thankful, because it is grace. And I can't, you can't tell me that you can work on salvation.
Right.
Because I had kids in Africa, Indonesia, I mean, yes, I did.
Yeah.
I had, and I had money going over this way. I had pictures of poor little kids, and I really believed in working on salvation. And I, so, now it's like, yeah, well, you could help somebody, but it ain't for your soul salvation.
That's right.
So I don't know if that'll help anybody, but it sure helped me, and I'm so thankful that he's, taking me out of that. And like I said, I needed to say that again, because, yeah, I do forget, and I forget all about that. I forget that I came out of that. I mean, I really do. I mean, I'm not. I truly, because I'm sitting here in a bubble.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here in class in a bubble most of the time, just looking at this and not even thinking about the past. I'm glad that it is a bubble. Ain't nobody, busted. That's it.
I'm really, before I, give my, say how I came to class, I just want to give a small testimony to Yahshua. I really am thankful to Yahshua. I recently just got out the hospital at Northwestern, the Northwestern Hospital in downtown Chicago. And I'm not going to say what I was there for, but, I spent 5 days in the hospital there. But still recuperating. But as soon as, Yahshua, he always tell me, okay, he always let me know, okay, you can go back, go back to class. So, and plus I'm a breast cancer survivor. That's another thing. But I really am thankful to Yahshua for a lot of things, because each and every experience that I've had brings me closer to Yahweh Elohim. And when the first speaker was talking about having a conscientious knowledge of Yahweh Elohim, and that feeling that you're always conscious of his ever presence, that is really true. And it is it's a growth. You don't get it overnight. And when you're put in situations like a surgery, or I was in a couple of it's a lot of things, but those situations, it's just you and him. It's nobody else. Nobody can walk with you. They can go so far, but
the knowledge of knowing that he's in control, he controls the doctors, they have the skill, but he's the master of it. And knowing that going into a deep sleep like Adam did when he put him in that deep sleep, that's likened to anesthesia, because you have no knowledge of anything. You're just out. And they're working inside the body. And the thing that I come into a knowledge of Joshua is to always, anything could go wrong. And most people have surgeries, most people have had surgeries in here or something. You know that, they let you know that, it's not a, things can go wrong. So you cannot go into the situation always thinking, well, yeah, everything gonna be okay, because it could be a slip of the knife, it could be interns, things can happen in the operating room. And to know that going in there after I talked to my daughter, and I'm like, okay, boss, you gotta control this. You can go in here right with me. You got all your people set in line that you want to go inside this body and do what you have to do. Knowing that, and knowing that I had to walk, like Dr. Kinley said, just me by myself. That's right. And like Moses went up by himself. That's the walk that each and every one of us has to take. That's the conscious realization of knowing that each and every situation that you get yourself into, you may not be able to call your brethren. Now, my brethren were on my mind, and I do thank them for the love that they gave me out this class. And he's making me even conscious of that, the love of the brethren. But to know that it's Joshua and it's him alone, and he got to walk that walk, you have to walk that walk with Joshua. That's a beautiful thing. Any situation that you find yourself in, you have to be able to be conscious of his presence in you. And that I wanted to say, but how I came into class, I was in a car accident. That was the beginning of my journey. And that car accident was me and my sister, and it was a lot of, it was kind of a bad accident. But at that time, I didn't know Joshua, and I had a dream of this man. I was under anesthesia, but I had a dream, and I saw him, but I saw the backsides of this man, crystal clear and stuff like that, and I equated that with Jesus. So the doctors just think you're hallucinating, really. They like, oh, well, she's just hallucinating. So that was one experience. So that time lapsed. So after I got out of that and did okay, I said, well, God must be telling me something. Why would he let me live? The doctor said I was near death door. So that started my quest of Joshua had gave me to wanting to try to find out about him. So I started that. Dr. Warren is my first cousin. I had kind of forgot, once you get back in the world and things okay, you kind of forget about things. You're just going on your merry way. So I guess at the appointed time, Joshua had, I was with my cousin, Lee's sister. And we really didn't have nothing to do. It was a nice summer day. We just out and about. She said, well, why don't we go over to my brother's house? They got a Bible class there. And I'm like, I'm really not dressed for no Bible class. So she said, well, let's go. I said, well, yeah, I think I'll go. So that was my introduction to the gospel. I mean, I'm a Baptist, as May always say. My mother raised us as Baptists. She wasn't a church goer, but all, like you said, Felicia, all the little holidays stuff, there we go. But technically I was raised up in the Baptist faith. But not really a Baptist, I'm saying, just by name, So, but when we went to, right, just by name, like I said, a lot of Catholics just by name. They really, I'm Catholic, but you ain't, not a true diehard, just by name. So I walked into this Bible class, and it was a college session. And I mean, I was just confounded. I mean, all the little questions that only me and my, I only had to Yahweh, and he's heard my cry on different things, all of it, carnal, I want to be married, I want to have, that little stuff that you ask, God, so to speak. Everything was answered. I came in here, and what really got me, and it still sticks with me today, is this tabernacle pattern and why all things happen in threes. I finally got my answer, because he's threefold. And when that was preached about him going down, carrying that principle down through, that's how I learned. I have to see the principle operating down through the ages and dispensation. Then I catch it somewhere. But when it was preached, it was just, I wasn't a fighter. I think when some people, they like, no, no. I think Dr. Rick Travis in there, he was like, no, that ain't right. And even Dr. Gill, like, no, they gave me, Dr. Kennedy, why he keep saying that? That ain't right. I was not like that. I think when it was preached, my heart just burned within me. I knew that it was the truth. But the name, this is what I had to prove. I'd never heard these names before. They were very foreign to me, of Yahweh, Elohim, and Yahshua. That, when they said go home and do a detailed investigation, I took their word at it. You know, like Maisie always said, go in a good dictionary. When I went home, I got my little packet. I had my Bible on the table, and everything was in there. That's right in those the New Testament, you know, the packets that we give. Everything was there. So that further solidified that, yes, this is the truth. Now I got the proof. But from the day that I heard it preached, it was just a love there, because he had revealed himself to me. The only thing I had to do was prove the names, because I had never heard the names before. But it was something I just can't explain. And like John said, I've really never been out of class for any kind of length of time. There's been a little lapse there, I think, when we moved to Indiana for a little while. But I'm thankful that Yahweh has given me he gives you the desire to want to come to class. And even when I was at the hospital and home recuperating, I'm still kind of recuperating a little bit, it's a strong desire to get back to the gospel, preach, and to the brethren. You know, that's a deep thing, you know. So it's still that yearning, you know, to get back there, you know. But I just, you know, and to, you know, the brethren that's not here, or they have something going on with them, the only thing I think, just out the kindness of our heart, just to be patient and to love one another, and to also just hope that Yahshua will bring them back. You know, not to toss nobody out, because who are we?
That's right.
Like you said, who are we? You know, you to look that, you know, you don't know what somebody else is going through. But we hope that they come back, you know, to this class and any class, you know, they're out there, but we want to hope that they come back, because things is wrapping up. He is wrapping up this stuff. You know, he is dividing the wheat from the tares. But it was just that love that Yahshua gave me when it was first preached, that I just knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that it was the truth. I couldn't prove it. I couldn't go to nobody and say nothing, because I'm just hearing it myself. But it's that feeling inside, in that soul, that, you know, you guys have heard, you know, you probably know that that's what makes it inside, that, you know, this is undeniable. This got to be the truth. Nobody has explained God or Yahweh as he really is. Nobody has been able to give me a satisfactory answer of who he is, you know, but this teacher. You know, so with that, I just like to say hallelujah. I'm so happy to be here.
Okay, I'll just, it'll be short again. Thanks be to Yahshua for allowing me another chance to come to class. How I came to class was through my older sister Shaquita, as was said by Kenyatta. I was really going through some what I call like a mental crisis, more or less what I would consider more or less a breakdown. I had a lot of disturbing thoughts. I was really confused about a whole lot of things. I really was going through something. So I went to my sister's house, and I guess she probably was like, oh my God, I never seen her like this. And, you know, oh my goodness, I never seen her like this. But I didn't want to be alone. I was thinking about, you know, ending my life and things like that, because I had some deeply disturbing thoughts. that I was really worried about. And so she called my uncle, who's a minister, and he's a Christian minister, and he came over and he was telling me about, you know, accepting Jesus as my personal savior. And, you know, at that point I was saying, you know, just anything, because those thoughts were just, I mean, it really had me in a state of death and hell, where I felt like I could not be by myself without trying to take my life. And so I stayed over there for a few days, and it just seemed like those thoughts came back. And then after that, she said, I'm going to call Lee. So she called our cousin Lee to come over. And then I remember Lee and Penny, his wife, they came to her house and they preached the gospel to me. And then it was after that I came to class, I began to have some relief about what that stuff was. And one of the things that really, you know, helped me was he was saying those thoughts are not your thoughts, you know, and that there was a satanic spirit, and how those thoughts are not yours. Those thoughts are the satanic spirits placing those thoughts within you. And that gave me some relief, because I'm like, I am really crazy to be thinking these thoughts. So I came to class, and I knew that this was the teaching. I think back then we used to meet at the Congress Hotel, and you know, over the years, I've had times where I've been, you know, in class, and I've had times where I've been out of class. And Joshua really, he used Lee to be on me. He got to stay on me. And one time I had came back to class, and he said, if you don't come back to class and stay in class, y'all were going to bring them demons back on you. And that really, you know, kind of shook me up a little bit. But, you know, I was just, you know, Joshua knows each of us has a different disposition and a different way he has to work on you. And I'm one of them ones got a hard head. And so he has put me through a lot of things. And thanks be to Joshua, he has allowed me to come back, you know, and he's been keeping me. And I pray Joshua continue to keep me. And so I'm just thankful. I'm thankful that I'm here. I'm thankful that he continues to work with me. I know, like the first vessel said, there's still things that, you know, still yet to be cleaned up in me, but I'm hopeful and prayerful in Joshua that he keeps me.
That's right.
And so with that, I'll praise go to Joshua.
Sister number 3. 3. Who won't keep the pattern of the system? She was born in class, Jack. She was born in
Gabrielle.
You ready?
Yes. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? I was born in class. My mother, the oldest one, that came through Halloween. I just was born. I'm like, oh, what's this? Why am I in class? What is this? But I don't know. I can't pinpoint the turning point when it was just a lecture. And when it was just charts to when it became a part of my life. I can't pinpoint that turning point. I just know that it just changed, and I started to understand through him. And I'm just happy that, you know, he really kept me. And there are a few of us that have grew up in class that are not in class anymore.
That's right.
And I'm just glad that, I hope they come back, you know, because there's not too much out there to satisfy them. And these charts are, and just actual words are indented and burned in your heart and mind. So it's really, you can't compare the two out in the world as opposed to when you hear, you know, the words. But yeah, I can't pinpoint that exact time when it turned for me, but I know it when he started to show me, you know, how he's worked in my life with things that my mom and dad couldn't help me with. And I, you know, they just couldn't help me with, and it was just me and Joshua. And he showed me, I brought you through this, I taught you this, I told you this, and I'm like, okay, you didn't do this. I'm like, okay, you know. So he worked with me, and he still is. So just with that, just give him all the praise. Stay in class.
Who's the other sister?
Thank you.
Oh, God. Okay, I'm sister number 3. Okay, please excuse the way I look. I look like I'm going skiing and everything. Just came from work. But anyway, I'm sister number 3. What am I, the 3rd, 4th eldest? But anyway, like came into class through Shaquita, the eldest. Like she said, we were Baptist, but my mom didn't really go every Sunday, Easter and things like that. But I do remember going to church one day, and I think the music got to me. And I called myself walking down there saying I'm going to be baptized. So I remember the Sunday that I did get baptized, I asked someone, I don't know if it was the pastor or whatever, I said, how do you know when you're ready? He said, well, if you're scared, you're not ready. And I was scared. But I still got dunked in the water, which did absolutely nothing for me. So after that, we started going to the class downtown Chicago. And Lee Warren, yeah, he's our cousin. And then I was out of class because there was a little separation going on.
Right.
But what really made me believe is you can't defeat your own body.
That's right.
And I'm in the healthcare profession, and I would say that's what, I mean, how can you deny your own body?
That's right.
So I would say it's this chart right here, when they started talking about the nervous systems and all the different systems in the body. And that's really what made me believe.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I'm sure that's it.
Hello, my name is Casey Jones.
Hello.
Yeah, I like to speak. Gabrielle said I was born in class. My mother is Rose. And yeah, she, we started, I remember class when we were going to Lee Warren's class, and used to be downtown, and still remember going to that building and you know, being in front of the charts and kid playing with toys and you know.
Right.
But as far as, you know, as I've grown in the teaching and looking at the charts, and just he slowly teaches me, you know, and I'd say this school has taught me a lot. It taught me his true name, Yahshua, and Yahweh Elohim, and to put them in its proper place.
That's right.
Because you know, my father actually he lived on the west side of Chicago, and you know, he would send me to church with his girlfriend at the time, and I just really I wasn't crazy about it. I just felt uncomfortable. It was long, you know, but this teaching became a real reality for me, because recently, a couple years ago, well, about 2 years ago, I got shot in Chicago, and you know, it was only Yahshua's grace by saving my life that night, because another man died that night, and I was like, man, I mean, that was way too close for comfort, and it told me right there that you better get it together, because you could be out of here like when I decide to go ahead, because I wasn't involved with any gangs. I was just, you know, out in Chicago late night, and you're not supposed to, you know, but nevertheless, Yahshua saw fit to save my life, so you know, I just gave him all the grace and give him all the honor, and he showed me actually the situation, the pattern was all in it because we was barbecuing, and the guy had his grill outside because we was all getting ready to grill up some food when the shooting happened. And I was coming back from the hospital that night after they released me, and something just came to me in my head like, you know, the pattern was all in that, right? You know, the man grill was out there. I'm like, man, he right. I'm like, it was dark out and it was night out and his light was on, his door was third door down. I was like, man, that was something else. So that really put an impact on me, like, no, I was with you, and I'm trying to show you the pattern.
That's right.
You know, but, you know, all honor goes to Yahweh, Elohim, Yahshua, and I'm just thankful that he allowed me to keep me and to keep teaching me. So with those words,
Probably squeeze one more person if there we can.
Hello, my name is Lisa, and I'm a recovered Episcopalian.
Hi, Lisa.
The way I feel too.
I'm originally a New Yorker and went to college in Virginia after spending some time at Syracuse University, and got a job here in Chicago. And I always wondered, what am I doing here in Chicago? It had been a year. I missed my family. I missed my friends so bad. I didn't understand what was I doing in Chicago. And I used to read this paper called The Reader, and there was an ad in The Reader that says, we can prove there's life after death.
Wow.
And I looked at it for many, many months before I actually came, because I'm the type of person, I don't really like to do things on my own. And I didn't have any friends that would come down with me. I tried to get a few people that I talked to come, but they wouldn't come. And I finally, I know now looking back that was Yahweh, moving me to go, but I was always arguing seemingly with myself, finally moved to go down there. And so I ended up in the downtown Chicago class with Lee Warren, and when I was listening to the lectures, I saw the name chart. So the lecture is going on, but I'm looking at that name chart. Where is the name at?
Right behind
you.
Oh, okay. I'm looking at the name chart, and they were talking about this being the true and correct name. And I remember that I was wearing a pendant on my neck, Yah, and this is Way, and it had to have vowels in there. I thought, oh, wow, and I was, because of many things that happened in my life previously, I knew there was no coincidence. And I used to say back then, I said, somebody's looking out for me. I used to look up because of the things that would happen in my life. So I knew that wasn't a coincidence. So that's what prompted me. And I told them I would be back. And when I came back, Penny said, oh, I didn't think you would come back. And I was like, I told you I was going to come. So anyway, that's a short version. That's how I came, and I've been in ever since. So I'm thankful to Yahweh through his son Joshua for that.
Yes.
Now I know why I was in Chicago.
That's it.
Just a few announcements. Available on the board is the topic of the Gospel of the Kingdom Table Show. We meet here publicly at the Best Western Hotel in Hillside, Illinois, 4400 Frontage Road, on the second floor in the Wall Street Room. We meet Mondays and Thursday nights from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. and Sundays we meet from 12 to 2 p.m. Please come out and study with us. And may we please stand for doxology. The book of Jude, the last 2 verses. Now unto him who is able to keep you from falling and to present you faultless before the presence of his glory with exceeding joy, to the only wise Elohim, our Savior, through Yahshua Messiah, sovereign, belong glory and majesty, dominion and power, both before all times, now and ever. Let us all say,
Hallelujah.
Thanks for sharing.